Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
Severe storms cause significant hail damage in the state line. One police department's fleet takes a big hit.
Firefighters respond to an overnight fire in Belvidere. The chief explains what made this one tough to fight.
And a state line restaurant's mission is about more than just food. It serves up career options for students.
Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson.
Calmer weather today, but yesterday a round of storms came through the state line, bringing strong winds and a lot of hail.
That hail left its mark in Ogle County. Nikel Delgado talked with the sheriff down there. Nikel, how extensive was that?
Yeah, Eric and Mimi, the sheriff tells me they got rounds of hail, some as big as a ping pong ball or even a golf ball.
The first two rounds were about pea size. The third and final round was about ping pong ball size hail, and it actually was about 4 inches deep in the parking lot. And we had a number of our squad cars that were damaged.
Ogle County Sheriff Brian Van Vickle tells me when he went outside after Tuesday's storm, 23 squad cars were damaged. In his past 8 years of being sheriff, he's never seen anything like this.
Well, we're fortunate that we didn't have any broken glass. It's all, the metal body parts, the roofs, the trunks, and the hoods.
Sheriff Van Vickle says some of his deputies were on patrol when the storm rolled in and were able to get underneath some type of shelter, but still nearly 24 were dinged.
We've got damage all over this hood. We've got multiple. There's probably 80 or 90 dents in this hood alone, so it's all over from back up in here all the way through.
And with the amount of hail that fell, it piled up like snow, plugging some of the storm drains, which led to flooding.
Generally, what people need to do is just be weather aware and have multiple forms of notification for severe weather. Yesterday was a great example that the tornado sirens didn't go off, even though there was a significant weather event. So you need to have the ability to receive that information.
Sheriff Van Vickle encourages those who have hail damage to report it on the Ogle Safe app to see what kind of aid is available. Mimi?
All right, thanks, Nikel. Some are still picking up debris in Rockford. This after what's now been confirmed as an EF1 tornado from Friday. The National Weather Service determined this 4 days after the severe weather. So far, there's been 19 confirmed tornadoes around the state line and Chicago area, and there could be more. Reports continue to come in from around the state as crews assess damage. The last time a tornado was reported in Rockford was back in 2020.
A couple of businesses burned during an early morning fire in Belvedere. Firefighters were called to McKinley Avenue just south of Marengo Road around 1:30. Heavy fire and smoke was coming from the north side of the building. We're told there may have been an explosion. First responders searched the building. No one was inside. No injuries were reported. Investigators are looking into what caused the fire.
Once we were able to keep it under control, we did make entry into 2 parts of the building and did a search and made sure that nobody was inside trapped. One of our fire investigators is working with the state fire marshal and with the owner so we can try to pinpoint the exact cause.
Investigators also say there was a partial collapse inside the building that made firefighting efforts a little more difficult.
A Chicago firefighter has died and 3 others were injured as they responded to a fire at a high-rise building. 55-year-old Lieutenant Jan Torek is the second CFD member to die in the line of duty in 2 days. His cause of death is not yet known. The fire broke out on the 27th floor of a large apartment near Lakeshore Drive this morning. The unit didn't have sprinklers. 2 civilians were also injured in the fire. Torek was assigned to Tower Ladder 10 and served on the fire department for around 25 years.
I can't tell you how this impacts us losing 2 members in 2 days. As I said yesterday, this job is dangerous. And you never know if you're coming home despite the best training and equipment that we can provide. Please keep his family in your prayers as well as the entire Chicago Fire Department.
Torek served in the U.S. Navy and Operation Desert Storm. He has a son on the Chicago Police Force. This comes just 1 day after firefighter Jermaine Pelt died while fighting a fire in the city's West Pullman neighborhood. The Chicago Medical Examiner says Pelt died from smoke inhalation while battling the blaze. The Chicago Fire Department has set up an official memorial fund for Pelt's family. Pelt leaves behind a wife and 6-year-old son, along with a daughter who was on her honeymoon when he was killed.
Rockford's temporary Hard Rock Casino expands. Table games are now live at the building. That includes blackjack, 3-card poker, and ultimate hold'em. Hard Rock says the expansion means more than 20 new jobs. That brings the current casino employee count to nearly 300. The new table games will be offered from 10 in the morning to midnight, Sunday through Thursday, and 10 in the morning to 2 a.m. Friday and Saturday.
An organization that helps people who are suffering from depression reaches a milestone in the state line. Relief Mental Health celebrates 1 year in Rockford. They're located on Alpine Road. Relief Mental Health is an outpatient provider of transcranial magnetic stimulation, psychedelic therapy, psychiatric medication management, and talk therapy. Its mission is to help people find relief from depression, anxiety, OCD, and other diagnoses.
Nothing better than getting a phone call or an email from a family or a parent that says that we saved their family member, and that's every day. It makes up for all of the trials and tribulations of a business. It's everything that we should be doing and seeing.
Relief Mental Health has 10 locations across the country, including 7 in Illinois. A local restaurant with a special purpose celebrates its grand opening.
Sonnys Place is in the Edgebrook Shopping Center on North Alpine Road in Rockford. The Awaken Foundation runs it. The nonprofit gives students the chance to gain restaurant experience. Pre-apprentices can learn basic skills, or students can go through the full 2,000-hour, year-and-a-half apprenticeship program. That earns students a certification from the American Culinary Federation. Sonnys Place's menu has items like shrimp, grits, and chicken and waffles, but that can change.
What stands out more off of our menu, it's a variety of what the students have collaborated to put together, that they can get all their skills in one setting. So it has been changing a couple times just so the students can get their hands-on training.
Sonnys took over the former Mary's Market. Mary's even left behind some equipment to give the new restaurant a little bit of a head start.
Former President Donald Trump's legal troubles are not only impacting his 2024 campaign, but also other GOP presidential hopefuls. Former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson announced his bid this weekend, and others indicate their official announcements are imminent.
Meanwhile, President Joe Biden keeps delaying his expected re-election bid announcement. Washington correspondent Jesse Tenor explains who could ultimately benefit the most at the ballot box.
Everything's brand new with Donald Trump. We've never seen anything like this before.
34 felony criminal charges are not slowing down former President Donald Trump's third bid for the White House. He's now using Tuesday's arraignment to raise campaign cash. And political experts like George Washington University's Todd Belt say nothing prohibits him from doing so.
We've actually even had somebody run for president from jail. That was Eugene V. Debs back in 1920.
Belt says Trump's legal troubles are not hurting his campaign either.
Now more than ever, Donald Trump is best positioned to be the nominee.
But other Republicans who want to offer voters an alternative option are starting to jump in.
Are smelling blood in the water.
Former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson announced his plans Sunday on ABC This Week.
This is one of the most unpredictable political environments that I've seen in my lifetime.
Nikki Haley launched her campaign in February and visited the southern border Monday.
This will be one of our top priorities.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is also expected to take on Trump. And South Carolina Senator Tim Scott will visit 3 key battleground states next week. But Belt says these candidates face a big challenge.
If more of them get into the race, then more of them are going to be dividing up that non-Trump vote.
President Joe Biden is not commenting on the case against Trump and has not officially announced a re-election bid. But Belt says that's strategic.
There's a number one rule in politics. When the opponent is doing themselves in, just let them do it.
In Washington, I'm Jesse Tenor.
The FDA plans to allow a second updated COVID booster for vulnerable Americans. Sources close to the agency say federal regulators are expected to authorize the additional dose in the next few weeks. The vaccine would be free. Those 65 and older would be able to receive it at least 4 months after their previous updated shot. People with immune deficiencies would also be eligible. The Biden administration plans to roll out another reformulated booster later this year.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, it was a rough start for some, most of us actually this morning, as we had a line of severe thunderstorms come through after 5 o'clock, prompting numerous severe thunderstorm warnings and even a tornado warning down through Lee and DeKalb counties. Things are much more quiet outside of the wind that has been howling behind that cold front and really dropped those temperatures. So this morning, once the rain and storms passed through, we were still in the 60s, so still very mild and muggy. Felt somewhat comfortable out there, but since then, our temperatures have actually been dropping back, and we currently sit in the 40s here this evening, all thanks to that strong westerly wind. You're at 42 in Freeport. It feels like 34. Monroe has a wind chill of 29. This after temperatures, again, we're in the mid and upper 60s here very early this morning. Our weather watcher Terry down in Genoa checking in this evening at 45. Westerly wind at 28 miles per hour and a relative humidity that sits at 76%. Sustained winds from the west anywhere from 20 even up to 30 miles per hour, and those gusts even stronger. We've had some wind gusts today coming in close to about 45 to even 50 miles per hour. Now, unfortunately, that wind is something that is going to stay strong as we go through the rest of this evening, but after sunset, I'd say closer to midnight, we'll start to see those wind speeds begin to subside. That is bringing down a little bit of a cooler air mass, so that'll set the stage for our temperatures here tonight to drop down into the low 30s. So it'll be a colder start tomorrow, but as high pressure builds in from the west, we continue to see these clouds work out of the area. So that'll leave us with a mostly clear sky, and we'll stay relatively sunny here as we go through the afternoon tomorrow. Temperatures will be back up into the 50s. Still a little breezy though with that westerly wind. Notice we're starting to break up some of the cloud cover as we take a live look with our SkyTrack camera here this evening up in Beloit. Those clouds, they will continue to clear out going through the night. We hold on to that mostly clear sky right around that 30-degree mark from Rockford to Freeport up to Monroe, 31 down in Sterling and Rochelle. With the wind chills tomorrow morning will likely drop down into the 20s, so just make sure you're kind of bundled up tomorrow morning, but we'll see some early April sunshine tomorrow afternoon, and we're back into the low 50s with that northwesterly wind. We are back down into the low 30s, even a couple of spots going into early Friday morning, dropping down into the 20s in a few locations. Friday, our wind will turn to the southwest. That'll bring our temperatures most likely into the upper 50s. Some spots could get close to that 60-degree mark, so a much more quiet end here to the week and beginning of the weekend. So 30 degrees, that's where we'll head for the overnight tonight. Winds will subside at about 10 to 15 miles per hour, up to 53 for tomorrow afternoon. Mostly sunny and a breezy afternoon. Looking ahead to this weekend, should be fairly quiet. Easter sunrise, your sunrise service, temperatures in the upper 30s. We'll build in a little cloud cover during the afternoon, and there's a small chance we may see a shower just with a passing cold front overnight Sunday going into Monday itself. But the big story going into next week, that warm up. In fact, high probability for those temperatures warming up above average, which means we've got a few days where we could see those numbers in the 70s. And for the most part, the rain, thunderstorms, guys, those will stay at bay as we head into early next week.
Now sports with Reagan Holgate.
The White Sox continued their series with the Giants today. Not a great showing on Monday in their home opener. Looking for something a little bit better today, especially on the mound. Andrew Vaughn gets swinging here in the first, and that'll be a double, and in comes a run to make it 1-0 Sox. Now into the third, Tim Anderson at bat, and that'll be strike 3, and he's not happy about it. He shouted several profanities from the dugout and was ejected. He claims that he was quick pitched by Logan Webb. Just another bizarre happening there with the pitch clock dilemma. Now to the 7th, and Gavin Sheets lines this one right, and it sends 2 runs home. The White Sox keep tallying runs and win this one 7-3. Series finale is tomorrow. The Sox announced ahead of today's game that Eloy Jimenez was being placed on the 10-day IL. He's dealing with a hamstring strain. When healthy, he's one of the more dangerous hitters in the American League. The Sox also called Jake Berger back to the big leagues with Jimenez out. A look at some other scores today. The Brewers handing the Mets another loss with a walk-off homer. 7-6 the final score, and the Brewers with the sweep. The Cubs were supposed to finish out their series in Cincinnati today, but Mother Nature had other plans. That game has been postponed to September 1st. Switching gears to some hoops, the Bulls in Milwaukee tonight to take on the Bucks with less than a week to go in the regular season. With their loss last night, that leaves them now 2 full games behind the Hawks and Raptors. They do have the potential to win tiebreakers with either team, and each spot up the ladder matters in the play-in bracket. The 8 and 9 seeds remain up for grabs. And well, this comes as no surprise, but Caitlin Clark was named the 2023 Wooden Award winner. That gives her a clean sweep of the major National Player of the Year awards. Clark's historic season with the Hawkeyes ended with a 30-point performance to LSU in the NCAA championship game, which became the most watched women's basketball game in history. It's players like Caitlin Clark that spark an interest for women in sports. She's captivated the entire country this season. And we have some pretty incredible female athletes here in the state line. I'll be joining Michelle on GDS a few times a month to highlight them. You can catch the first tonight at 5:30 and 11 on Fox 39. We'll be right back.
Tonight on News Nation, progressives prevail in hotly contested elections in Chicago and Wisconsin. How should Republicans respond? Tonight on Balance. Then on Cuomo, major new exclusive information in the Idaho murders case, not seen on any television network until tonight. See why more people are turning to News Nation. To find News Nation, go to newsnationnow.com and select Channel Finder.
Skies on the First Warn Interactive Radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and More. Skies are actually going to stay pretty clear here over the next several days. It does get a little cooler tonight, though, as that temperature drops back on either side of 30 degrees. Winds will ease up, too, as we get closer to midnight. Temperatures going into tomorrow make it into the low 50s for the afternoon. Still a little breezy, but at least we'll see some sunshine, and that'll take us pretty much through Easter weekend. We may have a shower late Sunday night, but it looks like we hit those 70s going into next week.
All right, thanks, Candace.
And thank you for spending some time with us. Stay safe.